What is up, Blue Homes? Welcome. Friday night, I am back. It has been too long. I don't know what my last video was about. It has been so long. I don't even remember what the last video topic was. But I can tell this much. I came back to the channel, and for whatever reason, I go to check my notifications. This is like not like my main channel, so I don't always know what the heck's going on over here. So I see that there's been like 2 subscribers in the last week. We say hello to Jilly Beans. Regular rotation. I actually have 2 of these. Shout out to Jilly Beans, gold medal winner, live chat participation, Friday night. Welcome, welcome. Nostalgic mood. I lost my train of thought. You'll forgive me. You'll forgive me. But hey, listen, new subscribers, rarer than hen's teeth, as they say. Showing my age. Showing my age with my use of a more than antiquated expression. More than antiquated expression. A literal experience potion. Throwing around terms. Ultimate Coca-Cola Creations. League of Legends. No indication of what it would be. Cream soda, if we're going to get any indication from coloration. Getting right into it, because it's here, and it's quite frankly, it's a beverage. It's not really planning. The only demarcation in the smallest lettering possibly. No indication that it's really a selling point. It says plus XP flavored. If you believe in Illuminati conspiracies, the fact that it's in such small lettering might indicate that it's actually fine print. It's always cinnamon something. It's like they did one of those Mentos experiments, right? And then came back after the fizzle all died out and said, hey, I mean, it's flat, but it's not the worst. The Mentos give it a little minty thing. I don't know what it is, but it's like a little minty thing. I've had a experience. I'm not minus an experience, therefore I guess I'm plus an experience, but then maybe that's why it's in small lettering. Kind of like a P.T. Barnum thing. We didn't lie to you. Coming back for more. I don't know. Julie Bean says, Now I don't ever have to try it. But you'll never know exactly the level of antipathy that I'm experiencing. Right? I'm telling you, it's doing nothing for me in particular. But what exactly is that? Who's to say? It's I gotta tell you, wow. I don't know. You know what it is that it's the problem. It's like the hashtag no new music thing. I don't begrudge people for not having new shit to bring to the table. I don't begrudge Mountain Dew. Well, Mountain Dew actually, the new summer flavor is actually pretty kicking. The popsicle flavor is pretty good. But, you know, like people not having new ideas for new tabletop role playing games or whatever. It's 2023. Like we've been at this thing, like rock and roll, hip hop. Like we've been at this thing for a while. The fact that we may have reached some sort of kind of like end state where we've run the permutations, we've figured it out. Like we can do variations on the theme, but you know what I mean? It's like we have like classical music and we have abstract, you know, modern composition with orchestra and every flavor in between. But like there's not much else you can do with that shit. You know what I mean? Like what else are you gonna do there? You know what I mean? Like it's done. You know what I mean? You want to bring the DJ in there? Okay. Or you want to bring two DJs in there? Okay. You want two DJs and the authentic real tape player? Oh, okay. Oh, you want it in quad? There you go. And now what? And now what? Oh, and now the computers, and now you got the laptop guy in there. Okay, and now what? And how is any of that different than when it was just the first fucking tape recorder up there, right? It's the fucking, you know what I mean? There's nothing new under the sun, and that's nobody's fucking fault, right? But here we are. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And in some places, we got there faster. In poetry, we had regular guys doing poetry, regular guys and gals doing poetry, and then the first person doing poetry, doing like, blah, 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 my cat is on fire, and that was it. Regular poetry, and then shit that didn't make any fucking sense. And then that was it. You could do poetry that made sense, and then poetry that made no fucking sense. And that was it. What else are you gonna do, right? That was it. 2 flavors of poetry. What else are you gonna do, right? What else are you gonna do, right? Some fields have, based on what it is. That's it. And believe you me, when I tell you about, there's a thing called sound poetry, where you literally have like a form of art, if you want to call it that, where it's like people making sound. So, but that's like E. Cummings was like the forefather of that, whatever. But E. Cummings was like in 18 whatever, like, so there you go. So, and that the point is this: in 2023, it's all been done. If you're in a field, it's all been explored, and we're just basically exploring shit that's already been done. So I'm not surprised they don't have any. But then it's also like, so if it's all been done, shouldn't we be bringing our A game and your Coca-Cola? And it literally says the ultimate creations, and your League of Legends, right? You're an established brand. And my understanding is that League of Legends is not like at the apex of their game. So they should be like trying to like, we should be going for it, guys. This is what they bring. I feel like that mobster in that Simpsons episode. What have I done to deserve this flat, flavorless Manhattan? If I'm lying, I'm dying. There you go. Anyway, to the new subscribers, both of you. Anyway, hold on. I should actually check. Here's my notifications. Watching like the last 3 days, they all unsubscribed. What was it? I swear to God, I had a subscriber. New subscriber 6 days ago. New subscriber 8 days ago. That was it. That was it. I guarantee you. No, that was it. That's what got me excited. It was 2 subscribers. That was like a miracle. Come on. Well, let me go 3. No, that was it. I'm already like 2 weeks ago. Oh, yo. Then 2 weeks ago I had a subscriber. So I'm like, but anyway, so that was like whatever. But like whatever. So my last video must have been like a hit because I got 2 subscribers off of it. So I should look to see what my last video was. Do. Oh God. Here we go. Why play Pathfinder 2nd Edition is stupid part 2. Great, wonderful. Like, oh, because I made enemies. People probably just subscribed like I just like they automatically subscribed. Jane, that Coke flavor, just some dude trying to save his job, or maybe I'm just a cynic. Well, look, I mean, whatever they were doing, they were probably trying to, like, they were trying their best, right? And what are you going to do? I mean, like, I'm thinking that they've gone through, like, X number of flavor palettes, right? That are going to be the big hits. Cherry. Vanilla. Orange vanilla. So, and they've done these, like, they've been doing this, like, Coca-Cola Creations game for, like, X number of seasons as well. So, you know, at a certain point, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. But it's not a disgusting flavor, but it's very hard to describe what it's supposed to be. It's a very abstract flavor. What I can tell you is this. It's not far from, you know, when you and your buddies have those kind of late night science experiments? Like, no, check this out. You give me what you're drinking. No, it's cool. Give it. No. What do you got there? It's peppermint schnapps. It's good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's one of those. It's like not offensive to the palate. It works in the sense that, wow, I'm expecting myself to want to barf, but I'm not going to. And I keep on drinking it. Jane, I keep on drinking it. But I'm saying to myself as I'm drinking it, why? Is it growing on me? Or am I asking myself, what is the flavor? But this may be my mind. Also, I may be working on a cold. I may be developing a head cold. So this may be like a lesson in futility. Here we go. We have Jeff's Gamebox joining the live chat. Thank you for joining the live chat. Jane, thank you for joining. Jane, actually, silver medal winner for live chat participation. Silver medal onto thee. Jeff's Gamebox. Calling out Pathfinder Shills Part 1 was slightly better. because I'm at my best when I'm at my fieriest, and I was going after the direct target of that guy. But then again, I take pity on that individual, because I think all the Pathfinder shills, the they all believed they all like sailors following the siren song. I believe, like, you know, um, Trump fanatics. Not saying that every Trump supporter is a fanatic, but like the most fanatical of Trump supporters, when QAnon is revealed to be just ticker tape and computer buffoonery, when the morning after is revealed to be the morning after, and you say, holy shit, did I really think that I was going to replace my core audience of D&D 5e players with what? A core audience of players of a system whose core audience of players is, it's just a question of demographics. It's just a question of numbers. It's just, and a lot of what I say is just like, it's just, come on. What are people thinking? People are thinking like people that need to go back to their psychiatrists and report to them accurately what they're experiencing in their day-to-day lives, so people can address those things and adjust the medications appropriately. That was a foolish thing for me to say. I take it back. That was me joking. I see qualified mental health professionals. I take medication. Not selling it to me, CW. Let me try it again. It's not like getting punched in the face. It's worse. When I really want a soda that makes me feel like chemicals are just, it's killing me. Slowly working on my system all around me. It's supposed to be making me happy, but just more poisons. What? They make you give it to my kids. America, we kill other people. Coca-Cola. How did I do that time, Jade? Huh? But listen, 4th of July is just around the corner. Last time you saw me, but listen, talking about Pathfinder shills, and I am coming down with something. I just ran out of Lobosite. You know, they're going to restock it, but can't get it out of the hub. Ultimate Coke. When you want to question all your life decisions, that works on so many levels. Listen, I can just see those people coming around and clipping that. If the people still came around and clipped my shit. Listen, because I If I want to go for the cheap hits, I would have made the following video a couple of days ago. Not the rules lawyer, but Roll for Law came out and made one of the silliest anti-WotC YouTube videos I ever saw, where he alleged that WotC were possibly breaking Canadian law with the Magic the Gathering 1-of-1 ring for their Lords of the Ring Magic the Gathering set, because he was using his analogy. He was looking at a Canadian law regarding lottery tickets, and I was looking at it, and I've had previous problems with his legal analysis in the past, but I don't want to be a narc, and I don't want to get involved in negativity, and I don't want to be like, I know I tend to, but I don't want to do that anymore. Less. So I didn't, and I also thought, like, whatever. But like, his analysis was so fruitcake, because he was leaving out the fact, because he was basically saying that the reason that they were in trouble was because they were essentially running a lottery, and that Canadian law was very strict regarding the running of lottery and lottery tickets and games and stuff. But what he was failing to do is take into account the fact that the value of the Magic the Gathering one-of-one ring was not a value that was going to be redeemed from WotC. It wasn't that someone was going to get the one-of-one ring and then they were going to go back to WotC and say, I found the ring, and then WotC were going to go like Willy Wonka to Charlie and say, okay, you found the golden ticket, here's $1 million. No, people were offering if you found the ring, other people were saying, if you find the ring, I'm going to give you $1 million. Like, and so this idiot, the whole law guy, was saying, oh, this ring is worth $2 million. Therefore, they're running this $2 million lottery. Therefore, they're breaking Canadian law. And he's a lawyer. And I was like saying to myself, like, you asshole. Like, if you came out with this video and you were just a regular old citizen, I'd be like, I feel bad for you. And I'd make a video and I'd say, you're an asshole. And, this is why you're an asshole. But it'd be like, whatever, but at least you're not a lawyer. But this guy's a lawyer. But he fails to take it into account. I'm like, how is he able to do that? And it's because he's high on YouTube crack. He's high on YouTube crack. It's because when he made a YouTube channel to be like Rules Lawyer, when he made a YouTube channel to just, hi, let's talk about role-playing games, he got 100 views talking about role-playing games, because that's what you're going to get talking about role-playing games, because there are only X number of aged dinosaurs and or bizarre, generationally weird, abstracted youngsters who are still engaged in this activity of playing pen and paper tabletop role-playing games. It is a niche activity. So when this whole WotC controversy with the OGL came around, as a person who was a lawyer involved in that, he got views. And when this whole thing was going on, I said, as someone who came from a different community, who experienced, I have a YouTube channel that has 5,000 subscribers that I left. And I said, coming from that world to this world of nerds who obviously had no YouTube experience, with no, enjoy these views while they last. Enjoy these subscriber views while they last. It will not last. Here is a lawyer who was looking at this Canadian law that said da 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 da. And if you're caught doing this Ponzi scheme or whatever, the proceeds are sacrificed back to the queen. He's looking at a law that's so antiquated. It mentions the queen. The queen. It's a Canadian law that mentions proceeds going back to the queen. He's a Canadian lawyer. He was reading a law that mentions the fucking queen. He should have known right there. Holy shit, am I looking at an old law? That's like one of those, oh my God, look, in 18012, they passed a law that said fucking donkeys in public need to wear slacks. It's like one of those fucking things. And I was going to make a video about that, and I didn't. Because I said, you know what? Fucking let it go. Because I don't want to fucking, start shit. I don't want to, be involved in this anymore, and fuck it. But that's the kind of shit that could cost the guy his fucking license. Because you do have a requirement to talk in where I'm licensed. I took continuing legal education at courses just recently, and they were hammering home. You have to be competent. And you cannot speak about things about which you are not competent. And if he's talking about laws and he's leaving out the fact that he's analyzing this law that clearly was involving people running lotteries, meaning people were printing tickets that would be redeemed from the same parties to get things of value from those parties. And this thing with the WotC from a Magic the Gathering thing, he was implying that the printing of Magic the Gathering cards would be tantamount to breaking Canadian lottery laws. Well, then why wasn't the Black Lotus at $300,000 a day before the Magic the Gathering One Ring breaking Canadian laws? And all these libertarians would be like, "Oh, let's support rule of laws video. Let's thumbs it up. Let's put it up on Facebook. Let's love it. Let's love it." Not thinking to themselves, as a libertarian, you think that you want it to be the case that Magic the Gathering can't print cards and sell them to you in Canada? That's what you think is good? No, you're just voting for these things because you fucking hate WotC, because you're not fucking thinking. And this guy's not fucking thinking. All he's thinking is, if I make a video about anti-WotC, I'll get a view or whatever. But he's stoked about it. He's literally thinking that he's found some freaking law. But then I thought to myself, nothing's going to come of this, right? And then I see this guy, the magic historian or whatever, mentions, not by name, but says in the beginning of one of his videos, it turns out it may be the case that WotC is actually possibly breaking Canadian law, and then cites the legal principle that this guy had talked about. And I was like, holy shit. So that's how it works. One stupid guy says one stupid thing, and it gets out there. And then before you know it, now it's going to be accepted principle of law that WotC broke the law with the one of one ring. But it doesn't even matter because the one of one ring has been found. And we welcome Jonaside to the live stream. Anyway, but I did not make that video. I bury that rant here. I bury that rant here. So for those people who subscribe to my channel, or for those people who just come here and watch, this is what you get. I took a class recently about online branding, blogging, and marketing. one of the core things they said was you have to find your audience and identify your audience. And while they were talking about another field, I kept on in my head thinking the value of this class to me will be, in places like, to apply this knowledge to things like this, to my YouTube channels, the things like here. So for a thing like this, who is my core audience? Be people will be interested in thinking and talking about art, who are interested in RPGs, tabletop RPGs, but might be interested in talking about things that aren't necessarily tabletop RPGs all the time. Where are you people? Possibly globally. We don't have to worry about, targeting you guys locally, advertisingly. Regarding the class information, don't worry about it. My apologies. What can I offer you? I can offer you this. Conversation centered around tabletop role playing games, but not exclusively about tabletop role playing games, that often meander around and away from them, but sometimes come back. A highlight from the live chat. Julie Bean says, sounds familiar. One person says one dumb thing. Well, listen, I'm not saying that she has the gift, the second sight. Last time that I was streaming, I think that I was knee deep in the hoopla of the Pathfinder D&D 5e tastes great, less filling bullshit. And I think that Crabfest pulled me away from my happy space, my good place, my good vibration with role-playing games, my solo role-playing game practice, my meta RPG vibe, and chrono magic time travel experiments. And some of that was natural and commingled, and some of it was causative. Some of it, I think, did have to do with getting to too into the negativity of what was going on with just being tuned into the real world people TTRPG space. And being tuned into the real world TTRPG space, the modern TTRPG space, watching YouTube videos, and instead of tuning and picking YouTube videos to watch based on, I'm going to watch this YouTube video because it's about Monty Cook's cipher system and I'm currently really into the cipher system and Numenera from 2013, and how Numenera from 2013 relates to the 10-year nostalgia loop, and how the concept of the meta narrative of the time layers in Numenera relate to the meta narrative of my chrono magic concept of the time loops and the the time nostalgia loops and their effect on the time travel experiments. Instead of picking YouTube videos based on that, I'm picking YouTube videos based on, oh, here's the rules lawyer saying something to defend Pathfinder 2, saying why Path. Here's him saying Pathfinder 10 reasons why Pathfinder 2 is better than Dungeons and Dragons 5e, or here's a DM layer saying why they're switching from D&D 5e to Pathfinder 2. And I'm based on the algorithm, I'm hitting these Pathfinder 2 hating on D&D 5e videos. I'm also hitting on J. Scott Garrity defending D&D. So that's vibing me towards, love D&D, and D&D's got to be defended against Pathfinder. And then I'm also hearing the Pathfinder people like smacking on D&D. So I'm like getting this like cognitive dissonance. So it was like getting crazy to the point where right before Father's Day and like right around the time of my last video, I was like, fuck this. Because I had before Christmas, around Black Friday, just because it was the current edition, I had not had a big buy-in on D&D 5e. But before around Black Friday, basically I'd gotten a whole bunch of D&D 5e just because they had basically a fire sale on it. They were selling like books for like whatever, it was like 60%. It was like crazy what they were selling it for. So I picked up like a whole bunch of it. So I had a whole bunch of it. And so I was like, finally, I was like, well, forget about it. It's like war with these Pathfinder guys. So I'm like, I'm playing D&D 5e because forget it. I want to actually play with people. And if you want to play with people mathematically, if you figure it out, well, the reasons I said in the last video, if you want to actually play with people mathematically, the only people you're going to actually play with are people that are playing D&D 5e. Therefore, I'm going to invest time, energy, and effort in learning how to play D&D 5e, which is I started to do, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm also going to learn how to play it solo to figure out how to do it, blah, blah, blah. And yada, 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 yada. Long story short. So I started doing that. But it was a long and arduous process, and it was very long and arduous, and I was having a very unsuccessful time doing it. It was an interesting time. I had a lot of fun doing these mental experiments, inventing different scenarios to try and make D&D 5e work solo. But I wasn't able to really do it. I was able to run one or two combat encounters successfully, and I don't think that it would be impossible to do. And I know that there are many people that have done it, and I know that there are frameworks that I could have invested time, energy, and effort into making it happen. But I think what it was that overall there's just a lot more rules in D&D 5e than I'm accustomed to. When I was playing back in the day, I started playing, tabletop role playing games, 85 would have been, I think, there's no, like, I didn't have like a calendar point to say I started playing. I didn't write down my first game was this and this date, but I believe it was it would have been 84, 85. I was a child, and we were playing, Dungeons and Dragons, basic and advanced Dungeons and Dragons. We were playing a lot of Palladium games. Probably we were probably playing them very, very, very incorrectly. But looking at D&D 5e, there's so many, like, all these extra mechanics, like the long rest and the short rest and the this and the that, and I was like, oh my goodness. Long story short is, I was like, I'm just gonna go back, and I'm gonna go back to, be true to your school. I'm like, this is the 5e thing. I think what had happened was, also, when I got to that point, I had been doing the nostalgia loop thing with just grooving on and just paying attention to things from 2013, 2003, 1998, 1993, and 1983 since January, and doing that really, really kind of hardcore. So I doing that really, really hardcore for 6 months. I think I had probably been getting to, kind of a breaking point. I had taken, a little break before, but I had been doing it, really, really hardcore. So it may have been also a case of just, needing to stop for a while. So, like, while, like, my core central religious practices of reading a religious text every day and chanting every day continued, a lot of my extra, kind of chrono magic stuff, with the nostalgia loops and, taking, intricate, notes with, times and, dates and stuff. I stopped doing a lot of that stuff, and, left a lot of that stuff just, by the wayside. Just really took a break from it, and stopped, preventing myself from, playing games. Like, me and my friend, I have one friend, we reconnected recently playing a game called Elden Ring, because for a long time, we had been playing it, and then I stopped playing with him for a while, and he was like getting pissed at me. He was like, "Why won't you play?" And I tell him, I go, I can't play that. And he'd be like, "Why?" And I'd be like, and I'd explain to him about this thing with the I'd say, well, I can't play because I'm only playing games from. Imagine, like, you're a grown ass man, and your friend tells you, I can't play a cooperative video game with you because I'm only playing video games from 2013, 2003, 1998, 1993, or 1983. Because theoretically, by only playing video games from those particular years, you are going to activate these nostalgia loops that are going to allow you to bring forth particles of what? Nostalgia energy that are already powerfully present in the moment. The whole thing is crazy. The whole thing is just zany, right? So that was part of it. Is the you got it. The whole thing was like, let's take stock. The whole thing was getting crazy. So we started playing. I started playing again. Saying, I'm like, okay, we'll play again. We've had a dandy old time reconnecting, and that was also too was like, taking appraisal of things like this and being like, putting things like in perspective, like, like letting things, like, getting upset about whether or not people are being misled to the point of making like, if someone making a bad investment in Pathfinder 2 books, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, really, like to get my cackle, to get fucked up, to get emotionally upended over the fact that, right, my whole last video is predicated upon this bullshit's got to stop. I'm not going to stand for this. Y'all motherfuckers ain't going to do this in my town. You ain't going to lie to the kids. You ain't going to lie to the kids. You ain't going to bullshit these kids and act like there's people out here playing Pathfinder. You're inviting them to a ghost town like they're getting these kids on an actual coffin ship. You know what I mean? They're selling these kids books. Do you know what I mean? They're selling these kids fucking what? $30, $50? What are they selling these kids books? They're selling these kids books. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to read. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, you know what I mean? They know that they know what they're to play with, so it is what it is. But then again, I think that all these people know it too. I think all these people that are actually like paying attention and actually watching these videos and are actually buying these Pathfinder 2 ebooks are actually already the people that were talking shit about DnD 5e as they already had behind them a complete library of D&D 5e, including Spelljammer. You know what I'm saying? D&D 5e complete library is 44 books. I think some of these old grognards are out there talking shit. I'm not going to buy another 5e. I'm not going to buy another product from WotC. Fist down as book number 44 slots in. I think there's guys, and they've got friends at their table going, I don't care what you say, Charlie. They make another book, I'm buying it. And you can read it when you come over. Right? And they're all buying the 5th edition reprint of Swords and Wizardry, whatever, gold embossed, whatever. Old School Essentials, new print. It's now 10 little booklets. All right. Fantastic. Oh, but it's so good. You can pass it around to each of your friends. But now the cleric spells and the magician spells can go to either side of the table. Majestic. This says $1,200. You love me, but you hate WotC. It's amazing. You love me, but you hate WotC. It's amazing. Okay. We'll all go on. Playing Dungeons and Dragons from 1983. Listen, so I start my thing now is playing Dungeons and Dragons from 1983, but figuring out how to play it solo and trying to use the mechanics. I always come back to micro chapbook RPG and trying to meld the two and trying to figure out where the sweet spot is, where I am playing Dungeons and Dragons as close to rules as written, but I don't end up just using micro chapbook RPG as a simple map generator. That we have some interface with the generating of, traps or an environment to interact with. I would go into more detail of my experience of my a journey with my solo experiences with 5e. I'd go more into my plans with going forward with old school Dungeons and Dragons, but we're already at an hour in, probably with my derivation and my diversion into the legal squabbles, which it was I knew I was going to do that. I knew that I was going to kind of like bury the lead, that I was going to address the issue, but I was going to like not put it in the title, that I was going to like put it in the thing. We say hello to David Bucky. David Bucky, how you doing? I know that in upcoming videos we will talk about the solo play of Dungeons and Dragons old school. I say that, but last time I said we were going to be talking about the solo play of 5th edition, so I'm a liar. So maybe we won't be talking about that. For all we know, we'll be talking about the solo play of 4th edition. Other than that, I know that I will be talking about at some point the Dungeons and Dragons Tarot deck, which is inscrutable. The Dungeons and Dragons the Tarot deck I have at home and started working with in anticipation of working with it immediately on the channel, but discovered problems with that, and so started working with it at home to try and figure out how to work with it, and immediately discovered the deck has real problems. The deck is really interesting deck. So we will leave that full review, for another time. I know that we'll do that review at some point, but that'll be an interesting review. But so for now, I will just pull a card from the 2003 Egyptian Tarot. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. The Chariot. Our chariot awaits. A trump card. I got to tell you the funniest thing. Speaking of that trump card, last night I watched, speaking about leaving the nostalgia loops, but for leaving the nostalgia loops, I wouldn't have seen the following movie. Literally, there's a movie called Trump versus the Illuminati. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch on streaming a movie called Trump versus the Illuminati that has a script that appears to possibly have been written by artificial intelligence in 2020. Aleister Crowley is the leader of the Illuminati, but he's a gray alien. It is, I have to do a review. Super Spectrum Incorporated, welcome to the live chat. We might be ending the video, the stream shortly, but we still welcome you. Welcome onto the live chat. It is surreal. I will have to do a review because, speaking of the world that I came from, art imitates life, imitates art, because this is now fiction depicting somebody's truth that is now somebody's truth made fiction. Right? How do you... And from a deconstructionist point of view, the minute you start to deconstruct Trump versus the Illuminati, you disappear. You just fucking disappear. But the chariot says, then we move forward and into invisibility. and we see what's beyond the veil. There's nothing to fear. We know where we're going. We know where we're going. Oh, commit. I am telling you. I watched the trailer with commit. It is exactly what it purports to be. The movie starts and you realize that is not the trailer. That's literally just the beginning of the movie. Large hands. They just sent the script to the animators and said, do it. I'm Alistair Crowley, the leader of the Illuminati. Would you have me do this if a Dark Lord of my master? Watch out. There's still someone who will interrupt our plans. Who can interrupt our plans now? We've been the Alliance. The one they call Trump. Trump! He died when they started the nuclear war. When he started the nuclear war. Not him, the Chinese clone. His clone! It is everywhere you want to be, Super Spectrum Incorporated. And it exists. But what you don't understand, Super Spectrum Incorporated, elephant in the room. Falling asleep on the job. You almost got ran over by the tarot card. It's the Chariot, my friend. You almost lost the tail. It's a good thing you're an elephant. I nearly missed you. Screaming trees. Screaming trees. I sound just like the dude. You. Fuck you. Come on. Jesus Christ. Nearly 5,000. Anyway. Go forth onto invisibility. Dungeons & Dragons. No addition. 3d6. Down the line. I'll make of that what I want. Make of that what I will. Do what you will. Was the name of the wacky movie that me and my friend were planning to write. Spent all summer cooped up in this little trailer, waiting for his mom to die. And then it got hit by lightning. So, goes to show you best laid plans of mice and men. Gotta be ready for those curveballs. Gotta be ready for the sudden change of plans. Sometimes you write the movie, sometimes the movie writes you. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you think that what I'm doing is cool, groovy, and awesome, make sure to tell your friends. I'm CW Chanter. I had a channel called CW Chanter that I left. I had 5,000 subscribers, and I left it to come and follow my passion for tabletop role-playing games. Man, was that wow. That was a decision. That I made willingly. I love you, I love you, I love you. If nobody told you they loved you today, somebody just did. That's somebody's CW Chanter. Make of that what you will, because you will. And I will catch you on the next one, which hopefully won't be, 10,000 years from now. Okay? Read a spiritual text every day, chant every day, even if you don't believe in anything. We are surrounded by the profane. Read something sacred. Can't hurt you. Chant every day. It's a form of meditation. Meditation is good for you. Change brainwaves. Be good. I love you.